We all carry gifts, but how we use them shapes our destiny. Samson's life shows how strength misused becomes a burden. Samson was born with a purpose. Guided by God, set apart from birth, entrusted with strength beyond imagination. His birth came with a divine vow, a life dedicated to God's mission. His strength was never meant for himself. Imagine having super strength, a gift unmatched by anyone. For Samson, this power defined every moment of his life. But power without wisdom is fragile. Samson's strength was immense, yet his choices would steer him toward danger. His strength wasn't ordinary, it surged from God's Spirit, igniting moments where entire nations trembled in awe. Many feared him, yet he never feared them. His confidence bordered on invincible, until it led him to risky choices. He crushed enemies, snapped ropes, and tore through obstacles with impossible force. His potential was unmatched, yet even with such calling he wandered, drawn to places and people far from the life God intended for him. And so began the cracks, his desires leading him toward danger, distracting him from the mission he was born to fulfill. Power alone wasn't enough. Samson began drifting, his confidence swelling beyond caution, blinding him to danger. His heart chased what pleased him, not what protected him. In moments like these, his vow faded into the background. He walked freely between two worlds, Israel and Philistia, thinking nothing could harm him, convinced his strength made him untouchable. He boasted in acts of sheer strength, lifting city gates, shattering barriers, yet never pausing to guard his own weaknesses. Arrogance clouded his judgment. He believed nothing could touch him, forgetting that unguarded strength invites downfall. Samson grew comfortable in enemy lands, soaking in praise that masked hidden traps waiting for him. His enemies watched quietly. They knew strength alone wasn't his weakness. His heart was. He wandered deeper into choices shaped not by purpose but by desire, unaware that each step drew him closer to downfall. And then he saw her, someone who would pull him further from wisdom than any battle ever had. Her presence was soothing, alluring, and Samson, blinded by desire, stepped willingly toward the trap. Samson found comfort in her presence, unaware that she was the bridge his enemies needed to reach his heart. With every moment, her charm felt deeper. But beneath her gentle words lay motives Samson refused to see. His heart opened freely. His guard fell quietly. Strength without discipline had led him to a dangerous comfort. She began asking questions, harmless at first, seeking the key to the strength that made him feared and revered. And with each tender moment, Samson believed he was safe, never imagining that the one he trusted most would be the one who tested him. One evening, she asked softly, "Tell me, Samson, what gives you such strength?" A question that sounded gentle but carried weight. He answered casually, offering stories instead of truth, playfully testing her sincerity, convinced he was safe. But Delilah wasn't discouraged. Each answer he gave only pushed her to press deeper, her mission far from over. She asked again and again, blending affection with persistence. Samson, blinded by charm, saw no threat at all. Yet each question carved deeper into his resolve, pulling him closer to revealing the truth he had sworn to guard. He teased her with false secrets, believing he stayed in control. But each lie only strengthened her determination. He told her, "Bind me with new ropes, and I'll become weak," a lie he believed would end the strain of her questions. Delilah shouted, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you," testing whether his story held any truth. With a burst of strength, he snapped the ropes instantly. His power remained untouched, his pride deepening. But instead of warning him, this test only showed Delilah how close she was and how blind Samson had become. Even after danger brushed his doorstep, Samson stayed. His pride convinced him he could never fall. She asked again, "Tell me, how can you be bound?" And again he offered a lie, confident he was still in control. He let her tie him again, trusting charm over wisdom, forgetting danger hides behind repeated questions. Again she cried, "Samson, they are upon you!" And again his strength shattered every cord they trusted. But instead of leaving, he stayed, never realizing that each test only fueled her resolve to break him. Delilah pressed harder, saying, "How can you say you love me when you hide this from me?" Her words cut deeper than any rope. Her persistence wore him down. Day after day, she questioned him, until his heart grew weary from resisting. Samson's heart grew tired. His strength could defeat armies, yet he struggled against the weight of her persistence. He let his head rest on her lap, a sign of trust deeper than wisdom. His vow lay exposed in the open. Pressed by her words and drained by his desire to please, Samson slipped closer to revealing the truth he vowed to keep. Finally, exhausted and worn down, Samson spoke the truth he had guarded all his life. "If my hair is cut, my strength will leave me." In those words, Samson unknowingly handed over his destiny, and the moment she heard it, she went straight to his enemies, ready to trade trust for silver. Samson slept, unaware that the secret of his strength now rested in hands that did not love him. With silent steps, the razor approached. In that moment, Samson's strength, once feared by nations, hung by a single strand. And while Samson slept, the vow he carried from birth lay exposed, one cut away from collapse. The razor touched his hair. Piece by piece, the symbol of God's calling fell away into the dust. And in that silent moment, Samson's strength departed. The mighty warrior became an ordinary man. Samson rose to fight as before, but nothing happened. His strength was gone, and his enemies finally had their chance. They blinded him, stripping away not just vision, but pride. Samson, once unstoppable, now faced the weight of every choice he made. In darkness and chains, Samson faced the truth he long ignored. Strength without obedience leads to ruin. Day after day, he labored, broken but not abandoned. In humility, a different kind of strength began to form, and while he worked, his hair began to grow again, reminding him that God's mercy can rise even from dust. In his blindness, he saw more clearly than ever before, realizing strength was never about power but purpose. His heart softened, his pride fell away, and a flicker of redemption took root. Quiet, steady, and growing with his hair, the Philistines brought Samson out, not to honor him, but to mock the man who once terrified them all. They celebrated their victory, parading Samson as a trophy, blind, weakened, and bound. But even in humiliation, God placed beside him a young servant, someone who would unknowingly lead Samson to his final stand. As his hands touched the pillars, Samson remembered who he was. Not a fallen hero, but a man still held by God's mercy. With quiet desperation, he prayed, "Lord, strengthen me once more." Not for revenge, but for redemption. With faith renewed, Samson steadied himself, ready to give everything he had left for his people. Strength surged through him, not the strength of pride, but the strength of purpose renewed. In one final act, the temple fell, ending the oppression of Israel's enemies at the cost of his own life. Samson's story ended in the rubble, but his final moment spoke louder than all his victories combined. Samson's life teaches us, your gifts are powerful, but wisdom guides them. His strength began to return. Judges 16:22.